Imagine this. You're using your favorite AI tool and then you realize your data is being used in the ways you never agreed to. This sounds scary, right? Data security is a growing concern in the age of AI. And no one really reads the fine print about privacy policies, data securities, terms and conditions, and that type of stuff. As an engineer and tech consultant, I know the importance of data security. I did the research for you in this video, and I'm going to break down everything you need to know. And the tools I'm going to mention are going to be ChatGPT, Gemini, and Cloud. I recently went to a Google event where they talked about Gemini work, so I know a little bit details about this. I had to do my research on ChatGPT because I'm personally using it and we are using it for my company. And for Cloud, I did a little extra research, read their terms because they claim to be actually not use your data for any model training purposes. So when I talk about training the models, what do I mean by that? Let me specify that if you're not familiar with the concept, the information you give to AI can be used to train their models. So if you share something specific to your company, actually, if people ask AI hard enough, they can get the answers about your company because you're basically giving your data for free. So there are a few options when you sign up to these types of platforms. Either you get access from your company, they have enterprise version, which is genuinely quite safe. So you either get trainings from your company to be able to use the tools, and the enterprise version comes with a package of the platforms actually not using your data because it's a company-wide solution. So enterprise option is quite frankly the safest option that you can use. Your company provides it, or you get it for your company, for your employees, and then they can use it safely without having to worry about data being used for training models. So this is like a good option to go to. A lot of the platforms have these options, thank God, otherwise the companies wouldn't really use it. And there is another option. If you decide to pay for those platforms, you can pick the pro version. And I'm going to show specifically ChatGPT as an example, how you can turn off data training. I log into ChatGPT and then I go to settings. And under settings, there's a tab called data controls. Now, improve the model for everyone. So if you want to turn off giving your data away for free, you can go here and turn this off. So this is on and this is off, and then click done. You can also choose between the option include your audio or video recordings. So I turned this off because I also share some company specific data for our own startup and I don't want to do that. So if you have the pro version, if you pay monthly, I think it's like 20 euros or $20 or something. It's totally worth it in my opinion because I use it almost every day. You can also turn off the improving model option here so that you can have a good conscience about what you share with the AI, and you would know that it's not used for training so that other people might have access to if they ask hard enough. That was an issue for a few companies I'm not gonna name, but there are like some issues around this, so I want to make it like clear for people who pay attention to this stuff. If your company doesn't provide you with an enterprise solution, but you still want to use AI, it is like a gray zone, I would say. I use it for my company or for my personal life, and I, of course, turn off the model option, but the safest option, like I said before, would be to go to the enterprise variation so that you will feel secure. Let's move on to the free option. So if you use the free option of Gemini or ChatGPT, you cannot really turn off that option, in my opinion. First of all, you're not paying, so general rule in life, anything worth having that is valuable genuinely requires you to pay something in return. So if you're paying nothing for something that is very, very useful, you're paying with something in return that is your data. And in the age of AI, data is the new oil, new money, new gold, whatever you want to call it. It's like the source everything lives off of. So your data is very valuable. If you want to protect it, you can pick out from the paid options if you want to, or you can try out different AI tools. So I actually heard an advertisement about this in my Spotify for some reason, and I looked into it. Anthropic, aka the company that does cloud AI, a collection of personal data for cloud AI. So Anthropic may obtain personal data from the following third-party sources in order to train models. Publicly available information via the internet. So you could also just check out what you give away publicly. Data sets that obtain through agreements with third-party businesses, that is also fine. User prompts submitted for feedback, flagged for violating usage policy, or otherwise opted into by the user for training purposes. So if you opt in to give away your data for free for training purposes, they might use it. I think they might have an option to opt out of it, I would say. We do not actively set out to collect personal data to train our models, obviously, otherwise no one would use it. However, a large amount of data on the internet relates to people, so our training data may incidentally include personal data. So this is the case for any model, really. This is nothing new. We only use personal data included in our training data to help other models learn about language and how to understand and respond to it. We do not use such personal data to contact people, build profiles about them, to try to sell or market anything to them, or to sell the information itself to any third party. That is a good thing. So they do not give away their data to third parties. It must be included. But like, you never know. So if you do not pay for the providers, my friend, if you use the free versions, no matter what they say, this is my personal opinion, to be honest, please do not associate this to any company I work with and I work for so far. If you're not paying for it, just like have the expectation of your data could be used somehow because you're not actually paying for the services. So if you use the free versions, make sure that you're not sharing anything that is like very sensitive as data that could be used in a certain way, or like that is like very important to you or to the place you work. If necessary, you can also anonymize some of the stuff. If you're not familiar with that concept, I wouldn't suggest you doing it because like computers are very, very smart at this day and age. And just don't give any specific about revealing who you are, where you work, if you're gonna go to that route. And if you're dealing with like really sensitive information, I don't recommend using free options at all because you kind of never know. And I actually discussed this with a friend who is a lawyer working one of the large e-commerce companies around data and AI security topics. So what she said, which kind of scared me a little bit, you can actually ask the chatbots enough times and enough questions to get the company specific data from the chatbot itself. So you need to be very, very careful about what you feed into your models because people are on the other side are also smart and they can leverage your data. And start protecting your data today. If you find this video useful, please share it with your friends, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe to see more videos around AI. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this, you can also like this over here, and hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye.